morning everybody. It's Saturday the 15th of March and we are not at home. We've come up to Norfolk to head out to East Anglia Yarn Festival and I thought it might be fun to take you guys along for the day. We're going to see how much we can film. When I say we, I mean me and my husband. The little one is still at home, obviously supervised. But yeah, I thought we'd take you along for the day, see how much we can get filmed. I've got a little bit of a list of things that I want to get, but I've left it far too late to go through that, so we'll kind of go through that maybe when we get back, and I'll show you what I picked up as well. But like I say, going to see how much footage we can get throughout the day and hopefully kind of show it a little bit better than I managed to show off the knitting and stitching show last year. And yeah, we've been staying in a lovely little cabin. Seen lots of wildlife this morning. We've seen some deer, we've seen some pheasants. I think I saw an owl at one point, but we've got this amazing view. So I got some footage of the pheasant this morning. But this is our view out of our window. Oh, falling over my own shoe. So yeah, it's like, what is it, 10 to 10?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about 10 to 10. We are not in the earliest slot. I didn't manage to get tickets for the 10 o'clock slot, so we're going in at 10:30. But we're only about sort of 15-20 minutes down the road. So yeah, let's get going. Actually, before we go, I'll go into the bedroom where there is a full-length mirror and show you the outfit of the day. So I've gone for a full look of me maids. I've got my Daft Days jumper? No, my Daft Days cardigan, which is the like knit pattern that they chose to make up for the festival, but I made mine last year. So I've re-sewn the buttons on and re-knit the neckband and the button band so that I can wear this. And then I've got my Lane pants on that I finished recently and my Tiptoe Through the Tulips socks, and I've shoved on my Birkenstocks, and then I've got my blue December bow. So yeah, gonna go and grab a bag and then let's get going. So the first stall that I popped by was Bellica Yarns. They had such a stunning display of hand-dyed yarn, so many different beautiful colourways. They also had some project bags available, which were absolutely beautiful as well. Next up was Anne-Kate Beeg, who had such an amazing array of cat-themed notions and patterns, and everything was beautiful. The Knitting Shed was a personal favourite of mine. I had not come across them before, and all of their yarns were absolutely beautiful. So soft, such lovely colourways, beautifully dyed. Their merino mohair sock was a personal favourite, and I'm definitely going to be picking some up for some future projects. This skein of pink mohair just completely blew me away. If I'd had a project in mind, then I definitely would have picked some up, and to be honest, I regret not bringing it home with me. The Lost Sheep, this little bunny coat. I mean, I think you can hear me now. Oh, look at the tiny bunny coat.
How cool is it?
It's so cute. Oh no, it is a unicorn. Which actually was not a bunny, it was a unicorn. Second City yarns were definitely another favourite of mine. This wall of like pastel to highly pigmented primary colours was my favourite place to be. Skin in the Stitch, Jess's candles smell absolutely divine. If you've never smelt one before, then I highly recommend. They are absolutely wonderful. And I feel like I'm slightly biased because I got her Advent, but I love all of her colours. They are dyed beautifully, and I came home with some of her merino 4-ply. Mammy and Flory, I'll definitely be ordering from them in the future. I just didn't have any projects in mind to pick up any of their yarn. They have the most stunning, brightly coloured hand-dyed yarn, and I absolutely loved their boucle, and I will definitely be picking some up for some future projects. The Mercery had the most amazing crochet blankets. I mean, they are absolutely stunning. Felt Wildly, they were such a lovely bunch of people. I got to do a little bit of a demo of some of their needle felting, and they were so lovely, teaching me some of the techniques for both 3D needle felting, which I'm doing here. Essentially, you just need to keep turning your work, and you do really need to give it some welly when you are essentially stabbing your felt with the needle. I also got to try some 2D felting, and I always thought that this was something that once you had done it, then that was it, it was done. But as you'll see in a second, you can completely erase your work if you've made a mistake, you put something where you don't want to, you don't like a colour there. It's just such an amazing skill. Goodie yarns I had to stop by because honestly I absolutely love all of Helen's colourways. I had her Advent last year and I desperately wanted to pick up a gnome kit from her. The skein of her 100 Acre Wood colourway almost came home with me. This sample on the Crafty Bird is in one of her yak bases, and I really feel like I need to try some out in the future because it's so shiny and so soft. Needle and thread were a new to me find. They had lots of BFL bases that I was really intrigued by. This is one that my husband picked out for himself. It's definitely to his colour palette. Amanda Jane's brownie bakes were the most incredible brownies I've ever had. I got the gold bar brownie, my husband got the cream egg brownie, and they were both delicious. Ethel and Joan are a button company that I've been admiring for so long. I love going and checking them out at every show that I'm at, and I will be ordering from them very, very soon for some upcoming projects. These clear, sparkly ones were a personal favourite. I've come across Creative Anarchy yarns a couple of times. Her bourgeois base, silk merino base, is absolutely stunning, and also her night sky is super sparkly. Pigment and Ply, I almost came home with a full sweater's quantity of her alchemy base. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I love her for her non-superwash bases as well as her superwash bases. Her colour palette is just so stunning, and her dyeing is so consistent. She's just one of my favourite dyers to buy from. Quack Yarn were new to me. Their notions were absolutely stunning. And they also had some really beautiful hand-dyed yarn. I'll definitely be shopping from them in the future, but unfortunately I just couldn't come home with everything that I desperately wanted to come home with. Otherwise, I probably would have spent more than I should have. So Venetia's Yarn Shop, I have heard of before, but I had never been. I did not realise that she actually stocks a lot of knitting for Olive, and it was lovely to be able to go and squish that in person because a lot of the time you have to buy it online. This was also my first experience of finding some John Arbon yarn to squish, and I was not disappointed. I definitely will be coming back for some more in the future. And finally, the Corner of Craft. I absolutely loved all of the yarn in Hannah's selection. Her sparkle base was possibly the sparkliest sparkle base I have ever seen. Hello everybody, we have come back. I'm sat in front of the big double doors, so hopefully the lighting is slightly better because Apparently the sun is over there, hence the shiny door. But I thought, now that we are back from the festival, I did get some footage whilst I was there, but it was such a lovely festival, so nice to go around. Laura does such a good job of organising it. She's so inclusive of everybody. It's probably the best festival, like yarn festival, that I've been to so far, just in the fact that like all of the aisles are much wider, and so you have a lot more space to move around. Everybody can kind of get through without bumping into each other. And all of the booths are a really good size. Even like the single booths are enough space for people to get in and out, sort of have a browse, not feel like you're in the way of everybody. It's just all in all, it was just really well organised. Like even sort of the fact that there were so many seats and everything to sit down to go and like have a rest, have a cup of tea, sit and chat with all of your friends and everything. There was a crafty corner for you to sit and knit if you wanted to. And like even the food section was sort of out of the way, so there weren't people trying to queue up for food whilst you were trying to do things in the actual yarn show, so those queues weren't crossing into each other, and there was food both inside and outside to keep like any smells or anything away from all of the yarn. It was just so well organised, and I think Laura deserves such a massive well done for how well she did. But anyway, we are now back at the cabin. Apologies if you can hear the air conditioning up there, it's a little bit noisy, but to be honest, it's cold in here if you turn it off. So I thought I would just go through all of the things that I picked up whilst we were at East Anglia Yarn Festival. So I have a lovely crinkly bag full of goodies, and I think I ticked off most of the things on my list. Some of them changed a little bit, but most of the things that I got were things that were on my list initially, which I didn't go through, so to be honest, you won't know if they were on my list or not. But either way, first thing that I picked up was 2 skeins of this beautiful green variegated DK. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and you get 200 meters per 100 grams. And this is from Bellica Yarns, and it just looks like this. And this was actually in her sale bin, so these were £12 a skein, and I got 2 of these to make myself up a Manhattan hat, because I just wanted a neon green hat, because, you know, who doesn't want a really bright green hat? But these are absolutely stunning. They're so soft. I think they're going to be a really lovely hard wearing hat, and I think they're going to look absolutely stunning in the sort of ribbed pattern of the Manhattan hat by Tori Yu. So that was the first purchase that I made. Next up, I went to Skein in the Stitch. Now, if you've been watching for a while, and if you watched back in December when I was doing Vlogmas, then you will know that I got Jess's Advent this year on her natural 4-ply base, and I'm still working through that, but I absolutely love that base so much. So it's a 100% non-superwash merino 4-ply fingering base, and if you watch my spring making plans, then you'll know that I want to make the My Honey vest by Wool & Beyond, but I didn't actually have the yarn for it yet. Now I've got some unspun sitting in my stash at home, so I've got that part, but I needed 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn to be able to do the rest of that pattern. And so I decided to deviate slightly from my usual pink and green colour palette and get 1 skein of the Angelica, Eliza and Peggy colourway on her natural 4-ply base. So there's 100 grams and 400 meters or 437 yards here. And this is just absolutely beautiful. Yes, there's still green and pink in there, but it kind of just deviates slightly from that completely solid green and pink colour palette that I had going on in my spring making plans. And I think this is going to be a really versatile colourway to have in that piece for wearing with other items in my wardrobe. So I think that I'm going to be using this as the colourway that you use for like the double knitting. And then I also picked up a skein of her undyed natural 4-ply, which again is 100 grams and 400 meters or 437 yards. So I will use this as the other skein of fingering in that pattern. And I think they're going to go really well together. And I like the fact that they're the same base as well, so they're going to sort of behave in the same way. Next up, we popped by Needle and Thread, who are a new to me yarn dyer. And I grabbed one of their BFL skeins. So this is their BFL DK, and you get 225 meters per 100 grams, and this is a 100% BFL wool, and I believe it's a non-superwash. And I'm not sure what the colorway name is, it doesn't actually have it on here, but it is this lovely like charcoal grey, and it's slightly variegated, so there is some sort of light and dark patches in there. And I picked this up to make my husband a new pair of gloves. So if you have been watching for a while, you'll know that I made him a pair of fingerless gloves back in the autumn winter of 2024, and we decided that he would also like a pair of full length gloves to wear like when we're walking the dog and everything, just to keep his fingers just a little bit warmer. And so I am going to be knitting him up a pair of full gloves in this. And they're essentially going to be exactly the same as the ones that I knit him before, but they're going to have full fingers instead of half fingers. So yes, I think this is going to be a really lovely addition. And to be honest, the ones that I knit him before, because they're in cashmere and obviously you get quite a lot of wear on your gloves when you're wearing them on your hands, they have pilled quite a lot. And I think this BFL base is going to hopefully be a little bit less pilly and a little bit more kind of hard wearing for a pair of gloves. So yes, grabbed one of those. I really wish I knew what the colourway was called, but unfortunately it's just not on here anywhere. But Needle and Thread had some really lovely colourways, some beautiful yarn bases, and so I think I'll definitely be going back to them if I see them at any other yarn shows, or if I am looking for some hand-dyed yarn online. The bag's fallen over. Next up, I obviously had to pop by Goodie Yarns and see Helen, and I desperately wanted to pick up another gnome kit, and I've been eyeing this one up since Christmas, but this is her festive gnome kit. So you get this lovely forest green, and then a very, very pigmented red, a slightly less saturated green, and then a pink. And these are on her sparkle base, so it's a 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver stellina, and you get 80 meters per 20 gram mini skein. And so these are all made up to be able to knit up a gnome from Sarah Shearer from Imagine Landscapes, and she is doing a mystery gnome along for Professor Fungi on that I believe it starts in April. So I'm going to be using these up to knit up another gnome for my collection, and I'm going to knit up that mystery gnome in April. And I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. I really liked knitting up the mystery gnome in December. I thought that was so much fun. I thought it was a really nice way of doing it because you didn't have to knit a certain amount each day. You got a little bit of like recipe or a little bit of his backstory throughout the month, and yeah, I think this is going to be a really lovely addition to our gnome collection. It's a little bit different because all of our other gnomes are pink, and so this one's going to sort of stand out a little bit more and kind of bleed into some more colour stories in our little gnome collection. Oh no, it was a kite. It was a kite.
Huh?
Not an owl.
In a tree.
It just went past that way. So yes, grab myself a gnome kit. And then last thing yarn-wise that I purchased, I got 3 skeins of the John Arbon Textiles Devonia 4-ply, and this is the colour Blushed Bronze. And this is, if I get one that I can actually read the yarn base. So this is 50% Exmoor Blueface, 30% Blueface Leicester, and 20% Lustre Breeds. I can never say that. And you get 388 meters per 100 grams. And I, like I say, got 3 of these. And this brown is just absolutely lovely. It's a very sort of deep, chocolatey brown with a little bit of like a bronze sort of sheen to it. And I grabbed 3 of these so that I could knit up a modified colour tip tee for myself this time. So I've knit up 2 of these for my husband, and essentially I take the colour tip tee by Emily Curtis and I've been turning them into long sleeved versions, and the 2 that I've knit previously, actually I've knit this pattern 3 times because I knit myself up an actual t-shirt version like the pattern is supposed to be knit. And then I've knit 2 that were modified for my husband, so they were modified to fit a men's frame. And then I've also added long sleeves. And so I'm going to be making myself like a really oversized version with long sleeves. And I think this is going to be a really lovely sort of versatile colour. And I think because it's going to be a fingering weight jumper, it's going to be really good for like the end of summer, heading into autumn when it's a little bit chilly, but you don't need a full like heavy jumper yet. So that was my last yarn purchase. And then lastly, I also picked up some buttons, and these are from Tom Dyson, and they are handmade oak buttons. And I got some 20mm 6 buttons. And I don't actually have a project for these yet, but I thought that they were going to be a really versatile button to have in my collection. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the John Arbon I picked up from Venetia's Yarn Shop's stand. I believe she has a yarn shop in... It's in Norfolk, I'm not sure where. But yes, she had an absolutely lovely store. She had some knitting for Olive on there, and she's definitely sort of opened up my eyes to a new sort of local yarn shop for wherever we are up here. Hello everybody, you find me in a slightly different angle of my office. Cue the wonderful 3D printer behind me. I realised whilst I was editing this vlog that I have somehow managed to lose a bit off of the end. I'm not sure if I just didn't hit record or if I somehow managed to delete it whilst I was putting it all over onto my computer to edit it and clearing off my camera. Who knows? But either way, I have missed a bit of this vlog, so I thought I would just fill it in here from the future. So it's currently Tuesday, so it's been a couple of days since East Anglia, and I am now back home, returned from our little holiday in Norwich. It was such a wonderful time. But I think the last thing I managed to get footage of was talking through all of the purchases that I made whilst I was at the show. And so I do have one more little segment to talk through. So essentially, for East Anglia Yarn Festival, you can apply to be like an official podcaster of the event. So you're given permission to film in the venue, and you are also given a lanyard for the day to show that you are an official podcaster of the event. So when I got to the show, I picked up my lanyard, and I was also given a little goodie bag, which was put together by some of the vendors from the show. Now, I really want to put emphasis on the fact that I was not paid to go to the show. I bought my own ticket, and I was also not paid to talk about the things that I received from the show. I've not been sponsored by the show or by any of the vendors of the show to talk about these things. They haven't even asked me to talk about them or pressured me to talk about them at all. I am completely doing this off of my own steam, and I really wanted to kind of highlight the vendors who had put together this little goodie bag, because I think I only actually managed to purchase from one of them whilst I was at the show. Everything that I have purchased myself or that I have received, I will have links to the shops and everything down in the description box if you did want to go and check them out. A lot of them will now be having shop updates on their website now that the show is over, and they are bringing some of their stock back. So hopefully, even if you weren't able to attend East Anglia Yarn Festival yourself, then you'll be able to pick up some of the goodies that were there available to us in the shop updates that are hopefully coming in the next sort of couple of weeks or so. You'll have to check each individual vendor on like their Instagram or their website to check when their shop updates are coming. I don't actually know when they are, but yeah, there's a couple that I am eyeing up now that I have already been to the show as well. But without further waffle, I will get into some of the bits that I received in this beautiful goodie bag. First of all, the bag is absolutely stunning. So this is one of the East Anglia Yarn Festival bags that you could purchase at the show. It's got their beautiful logo on it. It's a wonderful tote bag, and I will 100% be using this to keep my things in. Or it may be pilfered by my small child, who absolutely loves a bag. There we go. I've moved you over because the lighting over there was not good. But you do now have to deal with the ugly light switch that was put in by the people who owned my house previously. So first of all, there are a couple of stitch markers in here from Troublemaker Designs. who unfortunately are going out of business. This was their last show, but they do make the most beautiful stitch markers. I'm not sure if they will now be selling off the last of their stock on their shop or what they'll be doing, but best of luck to them in their new endeavour. But I got the amazing little Lego heart. I'll have to hide this one from my daughter because she will have her mitts on it in no time. And then there's also this little beautiful dog and a purple gummy bear. I have a pink gummy bear from them as well. So it's really nice to have another one of those because I do use it a lot. So very big thank you to Troublemaker Designs. Here is their card, just in case you were after anything. I also got some stitch markers and a couple of bits from Tom Dyson. They were very kind to gift a few bits to me. So first of all, we have got these beautiful little sheep stitch markers. I think these are the cutest thing in the world. They're absolutely wonderful, and I cannot wait to get some use out of them. They also included a little key ring with a button on it, and this is very similar to the buttons I actually picked up at the show. It's a slightly darker wood. I'm not sure what type of wood this is, but I've been looking for some new key rings because all of mine seem to be really old or broken. So very grateful to have this. They do some absolutely stunning buttons in different shades of wool. They also do a load of notions and everything. And another thing that they do are these portable yarn holders. So they do come flat packed. So you get this like ring, and then you get this little like hook to pop through the middle of it as well. So they're really great for traveling. And then you essentially just pop your ball of yarn on, and then you can have the wrist strap around your wrist. And I think this is going to be a really useful tool for walking and knitting. Now that the weather's warming up, I am definitely going to start walking and knitting again. And this is going to be a really useful new little gadget to have for that, because usually I just shove my ball of yarn in my pocket, and then if it gets tangled, then it's an absolute nightmare. So I think this is going to stop that happening. And it just allows the yarn to like twist when it needs to. So there should be a lot less tangling as I walk along. So big thank you to Tom Dyson. They were absolutely wonderful at the show as well. I asked for some help picking some buttons, and they were really, really lovely. And yeah, they were a new to me find, and I'll definitely be going back. There were also a couple of kits in the goodie bag. So first was a little Christmas mitten knitting kit from the Knitting Gift Shop. I've not come across them before, but I'll definitely be checking them out if I'm looking for any little knitting gifts for some makers in my life. So you get all of your mini skeins to create the mittens, and then you also get the ribbons to hang them up with, and also these really cute charms to pop on them. So I'll be making these up later in the year to put on my Christmas tree, and my daughter is very excited to have these. But yeah, I think this is a really lovely idea, just as a small gift or a stocking filler or something like that for members of your family or friends who are maybe looking to get into knitting and just want a small project to work on. And I also got a needle felting kit from Felt Wildly. So you will have seen me trying out some needle felting on their stall. They were lovely enough to give me a bit of a demonstration and a chance to try it out. And needle felting has always been something that I thought was going to be very, very difficult, really expensive to get into, that kind of thing. And they really showed me that it's not. It's a completely different process to knitting, but it's still completely like erasable. You can essentially undo things and then redo them, which was something that I thought you couldn't do with needle felting. And I'm really, really excited to be able to give this little cactus a go. I came away from the show thinking, oh my goodness, I really want to get into this now. Is this my new craft? And so I was very, very grateful to have received a little kit from them. So in this kit, you get the written instructions, you get a little mini terracotta pot to put your cactus in, you get the carded wool to make your cactus out of, and you also get your needles and a foam pad so that you don't end up accidentally stabbing your leg or your table or sofa or whatever. But look how cute this little cactus is. I cannot wait to make this up. I'm really, really excited to give needle felting a go again. It was such a fun experience, and I cannot wait to have another go at needle felting and purchase some more kits from Felt Wildly. They were a really lovely bunch of people. Had some amazing kits. There was one of a dog that I desperately feel like I need, but I think I need to gain a little bit more experience first. So would definitely recommend checking them out if you are after any needle felting, or if you want to just give it a go. Their little beginner kits are just really, really handy. They give you everything you need. Yeah, I'm just really excited about finding a new craft. And finally, in the goodie bag, there was some yarn. So there was a small array of mini skeins from a couple of different dyers. This one doesn't actually have a brand on it, but I do think it might be from Laura's, like the Lonely Knitter hand-dyed range. It's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I think these are all of these are 75% merino, 25% nylon. They are all 85 meters by 20 grams. And so we have some absolutely stunning red and orange mini skeins from Castleview Yarns. These are just so beautiful. I can't wait to knit these up in the autumn. I think these are going to be absolutely stunning in some socks. And there's also this absolutely stunning like pastel pink from Blue Fern Yarns. So there were also a couple of full skeins in the goodie bag, and these completely blew me away. So first of all, Laura included one skein of her Folk DK, and now this is her East Anglian base. It's a 100% British wool, and it's a 60% Romney, 20% BFL, 20% Suffolk base. There's 100 grams and 210 meters in her DK base. Now, I have knit using the Folk fingering before, actually in this exact colour. I have used, this is the colour Holt, and I absolutely love Folk. It's a beautiful yarn. It is such a wonderful experience to knit with. It's really, really plump. It blooms beautifully, and all of the colours are absolutely wonderful. She actually came out with some new colours fairly recently, so it's definitely worth checking those out. And I am really excited to give the DK base a go. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be as wonderful to work with as the fingering weight. So yeah, absolutely stunning yarn, and I'm so grateful to have received a skein of the DK. And finally, there is a skein of yarn from Chroma Nema. Now, they do the most beautiful hand-dyed cashmere yarns, and they included a full skein of their lace weight cashmere, which has been dyed with indigo, and so it's a absolutely stunning lace weight yarn. It's so soft. I very nearly came away with some cashmere from their stall. It's just that I was looking for DK and I could only see some fingering, but I think this is the most stunning yarn, and I've been looking for a cashmere or a lace weight yarn to hold with some fingering weight for a garment that I want to knit up fairly soon. And so I think I will be purchasing more of this in this colourway, and I'll be using this because oh, it's just so luxurious. It's the most beautiful yarn I have ever felt. So this is a 50 gram skein and you get 650 meters. So yeah, this is their logo in case you were after anything from them, but they had an absolutely wonderful stall. They had a beautiful scarf on their stall. I'll see if I can get a picture of it. But yeah, I was really intrigued by that, and I think I might sort of look into maybe knitting one up for myself in the future. So yeah, that was everything from East Anglia Yarn Festival for 2025. On the back of the show guide, it does have the dates for East Anglia Yarn Festival 2026. And so those are the 21st and 22nd of March 2026, and it'll be back at the Norfolk Showground Arena. I can't wait for next year's festival. I think it's going to be such a fun weekend, and I definitely will be booking tickets as soon as they are available. Like I say, all of the shops and everything will be listed down below in the description box if you want to check them out. I'll also link to the East Anglia Yarn Festival website and to all of Laura's platforms as well. She is just the most wonderful organiser of this yarn show. It was definitely my favourite yarn show that I've attended so far, and I think I'll definitely be back again next year. But yeah, I think I'm going to round out this video here. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this kind of little vlog of my time and everything that I got whilst I was there. Every time I like film one of these and then go back and edit it, I feel like I get a little bit more confidence in filming these vlogs, and so hopefully next year's will be even better than this year's. I really did try my best to get as much footage as I could whilst I was there, but there is always room for improvement. Yeah, so if you have liked this video, please do feel free to give it a like. If you are not already, please do consider subscribing, especially if this is the first video of mine that you've seen. I post a weekly crafting podcast every Thursday at 6 PM GMT. And yeah, if you attended East Anglia Yarn Festival and you picked up some goodies, then please do let me know what you picked up. I would really love to hear about it. And if you saw me there and you came over to say hello, then thank you so very much. It was lovely to meet you all. I had a couple of messages afterwards that people had seen me and that they were a little bit nervous to come and say hello. Please don't be. Like, I'm not scary. But yeah, I think that's everything from me this week. And I guess I'll catch up with you all on Thursday for another crafting podcast. Happy making!